In the earlier years of my street photography journey, I ran into this feeling that sort of grew into an issue for me. And this was a fear of missing moments. And I think it's something that's amplified in street photography just because of the nature of the beast, right? Like when you're out on the street, there's so many people. And again, I was blessed to have New York City as a playground. And there's millions of people in New York City, and on any given day, on any corner, on any avenue, there's so much happening. And there's so many characters around, there's so much energy. And when you go out, you grab the camera, you leave work, you go out, and it's like, all right, I'm here to see the world unfold in front of me. I would always get this feeling that I was too late. I missed it. And that feeling started to turn into anxiety. It started to turn into doubt. It started to turn into insecurities that I could not get the shot. I would not be in the right place. It would not be the right time. And there was a lot of work I had to do around identifying that first. Like, why am I not feeling confident today? There were days when I'd leave work and walk 20, 30 avenues with the camera in the hand and not take one shot, not feel like, it felt like the world was not on its axis. Everything was happening everywhere else but where I was, right? And it was crazy how that would manifest as insecurity in my mind. But first, really identifying that and sitting back and putting some thought behind it. Okay, well, I understand that this is street photography. I understand that everything here is super random. I understand that these moments in time, places, people, it's all fleeting. And I understand that the mission is to just give yourself some sort of assisted luck. And all you can do really is sharpen your tool, understand your exposure triangle, understand the focal length that you're operating at, understand the limitations of your camera, and then try to place yourself in positions that when or if something happens, you're there. And that was largely my approach on tackling this fear. And as all things take time, as I figured out what the issue was and I figured out a few different approaches to it, what I would find is I was growing into patience. And that patience really changed the way I approached a lot of my street photography. A, I started to not really value capturing people doing things. It was just a happenstance, you know. And I'd say this so many times as a black man in America, and really a big black man in America that may not have an approachable face. There are some other complexities around me capturing people doing things, because you would see it, right? Like I'd see other street photographers just boom, hit them in the face and walk about the business. They don't say anything, or hit them with the flash, bomb, and just walk away. I'd have a long lens. I'd be using the 70 to 210 and I'm down the block. And they'd still come up to me and be like, did you? Right? So like that in itself kind of steered me away from looking for people in scenarios but B, what I started to do was hone in on scenes, hone in on objects, hone in on things that would drive your imagination. Who's the person that's operating this? Who put that there? Who put a sticker on that? Who did graffiti on that? And that was sort of the approach I took to street photography. And to this day, it's still something that gives me joy. So my version of patience unfolded in such a way that I was able to see the approach isn't to be afraid that you miss the moment. The approach is whenever the moment chooses to unfold and I'm there, so be it. And then there's nuances to that, right? Because who's to describe what's the exact point, the decisive moment to be captured? Is it right when someone is about to do something? Because that's a story, right? You can tell when someone is it when they actually do something, that's when the punch is actually connecting? Or is it after they've done something? And that's the face when the arm is extended, the punch has landed, and the face is like, ooh, right? Like, these are three different parts. These are three different moments within a story. And I had to develop this thing about me that was, I'm not looking for perfection in when the moment is captured, because that's just, there's so many stories to be told in each of those moments. The before, the during, and the after, and they're each quite valuable. The point is, the story extends both forward and backward, no matter the moment. So if you chose the moment of the beginning piece of that story, the brain, the viewer, the imagination puts together the moment of and the moment after. And if you capture the moment of, your brain, the imagination, still puts together the before and the after. And I started to learn to beat myself up a lot less about the moment I capture. And I put some techniques around it, right? Like I would always, I'd say during my later years of street photography, and this is COVID. COVID is for me the marker of when I stopped doing street photography. And I still go out and do it ever so often. I just haven't done it like consistently since COVID. I use high-speed burst, right? So I'd fire off, I'd say 5 to 6 shots, and I'd get to choose which one I want. So that's always a nice approach when you can use technique to solve a problem. But then also what I learned was stop searching for perfection, because perfection is still up for debate. Perfection is still up for decision on who's perceiving it that way. And that in itself gave me a lot of, okay, you know, images don't need to be tack sharp. So what if it's a beautiful moment, but someone's eyes aren't tack sharp, they're a little blurry? Like, none of that stuff really matters. And the fear of capturing the moment no longer exists for me, because I am so confident in, at least I'm there to capture some part or piece of that moment. The story still exists. Now, do I have, let's call it a preferred decisive moment to capture in that story? Yeah, sure. But these days, even that's dynamic. Is it the before? Is it the moment of? Is it the after? Depending on what it is, I mean, some stories can be stronger than others. But the point here is, even though I'm the one with the camera, even though I'm the one that's driving the narrative with my tool, that's not to say that the viewer of that image is not going to have a thought-provoking thing when they're looking at my images. And it doesn't mean my images are any less impactful because I didn't capture what I thought was the perfect time, or what the viewer said, man, I wish, you know, people don't really critique stuff that way. We do as photographers, and you see it all the time on Instagram. Oh, you should have did this. You should have had the model tilt their head a little. Like, that's the stuff that pulls us. That's the noise that pulls us out of creating. And when you look at, I love to talk about this photo, the Cartier-Bresson photo, and the decisive moment with the kid jumping over the. There's a million ways and reasons we could have been like, should he have waited the 1 millisecond? Should he have waited till the kid made a splash in the puddle? Should the bicycle have been this? Like, why don't we do that to that photo? Because it doesn't matter. My name is Ramon. I like to think that time is the most valuable resource that we have. And I do not take it lightly that you've spent some of yours here with me today. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I'm out of here. Peace.